He'll tell you about the housing levy. And I asked him, honestly, President William Ruto, he claims he's trying to eliminate slums. What slum was he eliminating in Funyula?
Sometimes a single television interview can generate more political debate than weeks of campaign rallies. That is exactly what happened when Edwin Sifuna appeared on Citizen TV on Tuesday evening. Whether one agrees with him or not, his interview has become one of the most discussed political conversations in Kenya. There are television interviews, and then there are interviews that dominate the country's political conversation for days. Edwin Sifuna's appearance on Citizen TV on Tuesday evening falls into the second category. For nearly 2 hours interview, he challenged some of the biggest policies and decisions of President William Ruto's administration, touching on development, parliament, healthcare, and education accountability.
We have been in this space where the few of us who are on payslips have been taxed to the bone, you know? And you people can tell that even the purchasing power of Kenyans has gone down because of the high taxation. And what are these taxes going to? He'll tell you about the housing levy. And I asked him, honestly, President William Ruto, he claims he's trying to eliminate slums. What slum was he eliminating in Funyula, for instance? If you go to Funyula, that slum, that affordable housing that I was talking about, 12 floors, I was asking myself, what slum was he trying to eliminate in Funyula? The member of parliament for Funyula, Dr. Undo, is a member of Linda Mwananchi, and he confirmed to me there is no slum in Funyula. The priorities of the people in the area mean something. And you have to listen to them. If you spoke to the people of Busia, they would rather that concrete and steel was used in expanding the Busia hospital, doing schools and other things, because that is their priority. They will not live on the 12th floor because there's no Luya who lives where a chicken cannot live. We live with our chicken, we don't rear them. I don't know if you understand the distinction. So when he's elected here in Nairobi, everybody can count the number of slums that we had in 2022. He should be telling us, because of this taxation, I have closed one slum. There used to be a slum in Madare, I have closed it. Or even in Embakasi South in Mukuru kwa Njenga, there's a big construction there of affordable housing. If William Ruto was standing to tell the country that I closed the slum called Mukuru kwa Njenga, and those people who are living there are now in these high-rise buildings, then we would listen to him. So when he does all these things and you get to a place where the people are telling, especially the elected leaders, that don't vote for this proposal, don't vote for this proposal, but you have the head of state, because he's in a position to influence how parliament behaves, he stands up and says, I'm waiting to see which member of parliament will vote against this thing. Yet the people are the ones who are supposed to be the bosses of the members of parliament. And then 2024 happens, you know? And when it happens, all of those deaths in 2024 were actually avoidable, Yvonne. In my view, they were very, very avoidable. All William Ruto needed to do was to listen to the people. And the most annoying thing is that he waits to waste all these lives in cold blood, then he refuses to assent to the bill. I mean, surely. So he argues with us when we point out that things are not working. You see, even this thing called the university funding model, do you know how long William Ruto has argued with us that that thing is working? Even this share, he will come to accept, and even this housing levy, we are giving him time. When it comes to crunch time, he will accept, just like he has admitted that the university funding model is not working. He will come to admit that share is not working, that this housing thing is not working.
After watching that interview, many Kenyans were left asking one question. Is the opposition finally changing from merely criticizing the government to presenting a structured case against President William Ruto's administration? One of the strongest points Sifuna raised concerned government priorities in development. He questioned the decision to construct affordable housing in Funyula sub-county as part of efforts to eliminate slums. According to Sifuna, this represented misplaced priorities because regions such as Nairobi have larger and more visible informal settlements that many people would expect to receive urgent attention first. His broader argument was not simply about one housing project. It was about how governments should identify where public resources can produce the greatest impact. Development is not judged only by the number of projects launched, but also by whether those projects address the most pressing needs of citizens. Another issue Sifuna discussed was Parliament. He argued that the National Assembly has increasingly appeared unable to exercise sufficient independence from the executive. His criticism reflected a concern often raised by opposition leaders, that Parliament should provide stronger oversight over government decisions rather than being perceived as endorsing them automatically. Whether Kenyans agree with this assessment or not, the discussion raises an important constitutional question. A healthy democracy depends on institutions that can independently scrutinize government policies. When citizens begin to question that independence, public confidence in governance can be affected. Sifuna also criticized what he described as failures in some of the government's flagship programs. He pointed to the university funding model, which has generated widespread debate among students, parents, universities, and education stakeholders. He argued that the rollout has created uncertainty instead of providing a lasting solution. He also cited challenges surrounding the implementation of the Social Health Authority, SHA. Like many critics of the program, he suggested that operational difficulties have left some Kenyans frustrated when seeking healthcare services. These examples formed part of his wider argument that major reforms should be carefully planned and implemented so that they deliver the intended benefits to ordinary citizens. The interview also addressed one of the country's most sensitive issues: allegations of excessive use of force and extrajudicial killings during protests, including those involving Gen Z demonstrators. Sifuna argued that protecting the lives and constitutional rights of citizens should remain a top priority for any government. These concerns have featured prominently in Kenya's political discourse over the past 2 years and continue to shape public debate about governance, accountability, and the rule of law. Beyond criticizing the government, the interview highlighted a larger political reality. Kenyan elections are rarely won through criticism alone. Voters also want practical solutions to the problems they experience every day. This is where the Linda Mwananchi movement could face its biggest test. If the team led by Sifuna consistently speaks about the challenges affecting ordinary Kenyans while also presenting practical, realistic, and convincing remedies, it could significantly strengthen its political appeal. For President William Ruto, the next election may depend not only on defending his administration's record, but also on convincing voters that his government remains the best option for addressing Kenya's economic and social challenges. If the opposition succeeds in shifting public discussion from personalities to policies and solutions, the political landscape could become much more competitive. At the same time, Kenyan politics remains dynamic, and election outcomes depend on many factors, including party unity, campaign organization, voter turnout, and the broader national mood. One thing is becoming increasingly clear: television interviews are no longer just media appearances. They have become platforms where political leaders compete to shape public opinion, defend their records, and persuade undecided voters. As the country moves closer to the next general election, every major interview, every public debate, and every policy discussion is likely to carry even greater political significance. Do you think the opposition is now offering a more convincing alternative for Kenya? Or should it focus more on presenting detailed policy solutions before the next general election? Share your thoughts in the comments below.